Welcome. Welcome to the class. Should you start a microgreens business? If that's the class you are wanting to check out, you are in the right place. We are going to dive in just a minute. I am really excited to be teaching this today because I talk with people every day who tell me that they have been thinking about starting a microgreens business or they're interested in starting a microgreens business. And when we get to talking, I find out that they have been thinking about this, wrestling with this idea, toying with the idea for months or years. For many people, it's years that they are kind of caught in this indecision of, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if it would work. That is what I want to help you with today. If it's something that you have been thinking about for a while, or maybe it's something brand new, before you get stuck in that land of indecision, I want to help you decide, yes, this would be a great fit for me, and here's how I want to pursue it, or no, this isn't really what I thought it was. This is not a good fit for me. I'm going to help clear that up today. So I am excited that you're here and listening in. We are going to dive in. I'm going to share some slides to keep me on track. I love talking about microgreens and I can easily get sidetracked. So let us dive in here. Should you start a microgreens business? This is your guide to decide. What we'll be covering today, we're going to be starting out with mindset. So we're going to be digging into why you're even thinking about this in the first place. What's appealing? Why do you want to do this? We'll do a business overview. So I'm going to share a little of the practical ins and outs so you have a better idea of what this would look like to figure out, would this fit me? Would it work for my family? Would it work for my life? We'll cover practical things like how much money you can make, how much time it will take, how much space will it take. All of those really practical questions I'm going to cover today. We'll also talk about pros and cons of starting a microgreens business, and I'm going to share with you my decision-making tool. This is a really valuable tool. I use it with my coaching clients. I use it in my own life and in my business to make decisions. Making decisions is what moves us forward in life. And so this is a really valuable tool in uncovering what you actually want to do. So I'm excited to teach on this. I'm also going to share a little bit more about why I love running a microgreens business. If I am new to you, my name is Laura. I'm the owner of Hand Grown Greens. I'm also the founder of Hand Grown Greens Academy. So I grow microgreens for my community. I wholesale them through a distributor now. I also teach other people how to start profitable home-based microgreens businesses. I do that primarily through my online program, Make Money with Microgreens. I am going to share about that at the end of this class. For some of you, this is going to be the perfect step after making that decision. If you decide, yes, this sounds like a perfect fit for me, I would love to start a microgreens business. It ticks all the boxes for me, I'm in. This program is going to give you a roadmap to follow, a framework, so that you don't just go from making the decision to not knowing what to do next. A little bit more about me. I am a mom to 3 kids. When I started my business, I had a baby and a toddler. Now I have 3. My youngest just turned 6. And I started my business with these little tiny baby steps because I was busy with kids, because I was transitioning from healthcare. I worked as a nurse for 12 years in the hospital and was really terrified to leave that behind because it was such a huge part of my identity. And so it was this kind of messy struggle to figure out. And that's what I want to help you with today. I want to help make it a little bit easier, unravel some of this stuff for you. I'm an aspiring homesteader, so I have a lot of interests besides microgreens that I am pursuing, and that microgreens have allowed me to pursue. They're what fund some of my less lucrative interests, things that I just love lifestyle-wise. Many of you I know can relate to this. I'm also a recovering people pleaser and perfectionist. Anyone else out there working on that? And I'm a certified business and mindset coach. And I have learned how important that is to bring into the program, Make Money with Microgreens. Not just teaching how to make money, I'm teaching to work on some of these bigger mindset issues that are going to set you up to create a business that will have long-term success. Growing microgreens can be extremely lucrative. Even if you don't have growing experience, you don't have a lot of space, you don't have a lot of money, but is it the right fit for you? That's what this class is all about. We're going to start with why you want to do this. We're going to talk a little bit about what is drawing you to this. Before you decide if it could be a good fit, you need to understand why you were thinking about doing it in the first place. If you have the workbook, I sent a workbook out in an email, and use that workbook. It is going to help you get so much more out of this class if you utilize it. I know what it's like to listen to a class like this with one ear while you're doing something else and kind of think, yeah, I'm getting it. I promise you, you will get 1,000% more out of this class if you just commit. If you just say, I'm going to give this 1 hour, I'm going to really listen, give it my attention, I'm actually going to do the work, do the steps, write out the stuff. It makes a difference. It really does. To write things out takes the jumble thought out of your brain and forces you to get some clarity. So use the workbook. It doesn't have to be the workbook. You can just get a piece of paper, write out, why do you want to do this? Some of the reasons people usually tell me are to make extra money, to bring some balance to their life, to promote health. Maybe you are looking for a way that you can work from home, or you just need a change. So those are all seem like great whys, right? And they are, but let's dig a little deeper. I want to help you uncover that deeper why. And the way we do that is we ask ourselves a question. When you answer the question, why do you want to do this? Take that answer and ask yourself, why is this important to me? Maybe you've done this exercise before. Try to approach this with a beginner's mindset, with fresh eyes. Look at this question. Why do I want to start a microgreens business? Why am I considering it? And ask yourself, why? Ask yourself, why is that important? And ask yourself, why is that important? Continue asking yourself until you really uncover that deeper why. Maybe you seek freedom. Maybe it's security that you need and that you feel like is lacking. Maybe it's a lifestyle that you crave that you're trying to create, or flexibility that's really important to you. Maybe you just want to follow a passion. Maybe right now your life, you're not doing what you're passionate about. When you look at the hours, the way your day is spent, maybe the majority of it is not spent doing something you're passionate about, and you want to change that. Maybe you have a desire to contribute. Maybe you look at the big problems of the world and you want to do your part. You want to put something good into the world. So that's great, right? Take some time. Maybe after this class, come back to it. Actually discipline yourself, give yourself a little time and space to think and really ask yourself those questions. And we're going to look at, what are your concerns? Really important to put these out there. Write them down, look at them. People usually either let concerns completely overwhelm them, so they don't start because they're so concerned about things, or they try to push them away and don't want to think about them, and then they rear their ugly heads later. So let's look at them now at the start. While we're in this decision-making process, what are your concerns? What are your goals? Write down a goal. Don't worry, you're not going to be held to this forever, but it is important to have a goal. If you were to start a microgreens business, what would your goal be? Try to make this business a smart, or this business goal a SMART goal. By SMART goal, I mean specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So set a goal that fits those things, something that's realistic for your life, something that has a time frame, something that you could achieve and is measurable. What is your goal? Write it down. We're going to talk a little bit about what's involved in running a microgreens business. I know many of you are brand new to microgreens, and so you may be not really knowing, what does this look like? How does this work? A farm in my home? Like, what does that mean? I'm going to walk you through some of the really basic, valuable questions to help you have a better understanding. If you're brand new to microgreens, it's important for you to understand that microgreens, we're talking about a stage in a plant's life here. So this is kind of the stage after sprouts, before it's become a mature vegetable. So it's that seedling state that we're harvesting these microgreens at. This is a time when they're super nutrient packed, very flavorful, very delicious, and they grow really quickly to this stage, about 10 days for most microgreens. When we're growing them indoors, we can grow them vertically on a shelf, just like you see here. So we actually put trays filled with those growing microgreens on the shelves and grow them vertically using grow lights. So you don't need a ton of space. This rack here that you see in the picture is only 4 feet wide. You really only need about 6 square feet to start your own vertical microgreens farm in your home. There may be a lot of different places that you can set up a rack like this. Really, where you set it up depends on what you have available to you. I'm a huge believer in lean setups, using what you have to get started. I have growers in my program growing in spare rooms, garages, basement, shed, shipping container, porch, entryway, kitchen or dining room, pantry, greenhouse. There's probably more. I'm hopefully just getting you thinking about, oh, maybe I do have a spare room that we hardly ever use. Maybe I could turn that into a vertical farm. I only need 6 square feet. Maybe I could just portion off a section of the garage or part of the shed and start growing microgreens. How much money can you make? This is a question, another really practical question in if you were trying to make this decision, if this would be a good start for you. And there's a lot of variables here, right? There's a lot of information out there. I want to give you just some idea of how much money you can make. If you were growing that one rack that you saw in the previous picture, you can grow 20 trays per week on a rack that size. Each tray will net you about $25. Now, there's a range with this, right? There's people selling wholesale, there's people selling retail, there's different varieties of microgreens, different parts of the world that you're selling. I understand there's a lot of variables, so I just want to give you an average of $25 a tray. So for that one rack, you can expect to earn $2,000 a month or about $24,000 a year, just to give you an idea. Now, maybe you want to grow less than that. Maybe you are busy, you work a full-time job, you have a busy family. You just want to do this because you love growing, you'd love to make a little extra money, but you just want to grow microgreens. You're drawn to it. Even if you only grew 4 trays a week, which is just one of those shelves, that's going to be $400 a month or almost $5,000 a year. So good to know that even on a really small scale, you can start making money with these. 8 trays, 2 of those shelves, just double that, $800 a month or $9,600 a year. Maybe you want to grow considerably more, even double those shelves. Let's say you had 2 of those racks, 40 trays a week. That will net you $4,000 a month if you're selling your trays for $25 a tray. On average, about $48,000 a year. So just to give you, there's a huge range, right? Depending on what your goals are, how much you are wanting to grow, how much time you have, all of that. That takes us to our next question. How much time will it take? Another really practical question, another question where it really depends. There are several different labor tasks in growing microgreens that you can kind of break down to look at your time. There is the seeding. You want to, when you're actually prepping your trays and planting your trays, if you're growing 20 trays, that's going to take you about an hour to plant out 20 trays. Maybe a little more when you're new, maybe a little less as you get practiced. Then those trays are going to get stacked and they'll go into a germination phase. So for 3 to 4 days, you're not going to do anything, 0 time, days off, right? So they are just germinating. After that 3 to 4 day period, you're going to unstack them, put them under your grow lights. Now your only task will be daily watering. So you will water them once a day. This will take about 10 or 15 minutes if you are watering by hand. So pretty small time commitment there. When it comes to harvesting them at about day 10, you will be harvesting your microgreens to sell. This will also take 2 to 3 hours. So that's your highest labor chunk right there is the harvesting and packaging for most people. So about 5 hours a week, give or take, for the growing of 20 trays. That works out to $100 an hour. Pretty good for growing when you can grow on your own schedule, meaning you can be in your own home, your kids can be there, you can work it around your other stuff. Maybe you seed in the morning if that works for you. Maybe you seed after soccer practice or whenever you have a window in the afternoon. That flexible work. I want to say another thing about time commitment. So we're talking about the growing time. The marketing and sales, there is such a range. I tried to get like an average, but there is such a range there that it's tricky to say. For some who have this actually may help you kind of decide how you want to sell your microgreens. If you are really strapped for time, you may decide that you want to go with a wholesale model. Maybe you want to have one store account and you do very little in the way of marketing and selling. You just drive your microgreens and drop them off. Maybe you want to spend more time marketing and selling. Maybe you want to do a farmer's market and commit to that time frame and sell your product for a higher price point because you're selling it directly to people. You will figure out your marketing and sales time commitment each week. It will vary quite a bit depending on who you're selling to and what your sales model is. Who can you sell to? A lot of people feel more confident that they can learn to grow and less confident that they can find customers. So let's talk a little bit about who your potential customers could be. You can sell your microgreens at farmers markets, to restaurants, grocery stores, food hubs, direct to consumer, meaning like to your friends, your neighbors, people in your community, CSAs or community supported agriculture programs, farm stands, institutions. I have more and more students in my program who are selling now to hospitals, schools, assisted living facilities. Institutions are another place that you could be thinking about selling microgreens. Hunger relief organizations, another really rewarding partnership. A lot of hunger relief organizations like food banks have grant money specifically to partner with local farmers to buy local nutrient dense food for their programs. This is a really fun way to benefit your community and grow nutritious microgreens. Caterers, another potential customer, juice bars, there are more than this. I just am trying to open up your mind to see there are a lot of different customer bases out there, a lot of different people that you could sell to. So just to review what's involved in running a microgreens business, we talked about the basic setup. You're going to be setting up a rack to grow vertically to consolidate your space. This can be done right in your home in a spare room or whatever infrastructure you have, basement, garage, shed, whatever you have. We've talked a little bit about how much you can profit with microgreens, how much time it will take, and who your customers might be. There are a lot of pros and cons to starting a microgreens business, like any decision, right? So let's look at some of these. This is really important that you write these out for yourself. For some people, the pros may be cons. For others, the cons may be pros. You have to know what is a pro for you, what is a con. Be able to look at these, write them down. Again, I really encourage you. This is a big decision. Write this stuff down. Take a few minutes to dig in and help your own brain figure out what's going to work the best for you. Let's look at the pros. Some of the pros may be contributing to a healthy community. Microgreens are simple and quick to grow. They're extremely profitable. The demand is going through the roof. Really, this is the best time to be getting into microgreens growing for profit. You've got people who've paved the way, people you can learn from, like me. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but it's still a really new industry. So there is a huge demand and it's growing all the time. It is the ultimate side hustle for parents, for stay-at-home parents. I say that personally, that really resonates with me. It's was my huge inspiration. I really wanted to be home and be present. I wanted to have the mental and emotional energy to give my kids because I was fueled by what I was doing rather than being drained. It is something that you can work around other schedules. So that's a huge pro in my mind. There's minimal upfront investment. You can get started with really low startup costs. So most businesses, you've got to take out a significant loan, and it may be years before you're able to pay that off. That is not the case with microgreens. You could spend $600, $800, maybe $1,000, depending on if you're going to use stuff you have or buy new, to get that rack set up, get your trays, get some fans, get the things you need, get some grow lights, and get growing. It's a really low cost to get started, and you will see a really quick return on that investment. So that's exciting. It's also a very scalable business. You can grow a few trays a week. You can grow hundreds of trays a week. So you decide. Cons. Let's talk about some of the cons. For some of you, it takes up space in your home. This may be a con for you. Maybe you don't have a lot of space. Maybe you have a partner who doesn't love this idea. This may be a con, finding space, carving out space, designating grow space. If you are traveling a lot, it may be challenging. Microgreens are something that take a lot of time and attention. You have that germination phase where they are sitting, but they do take a lot of time and attention. There is some automation you can do, but they do take a lot of time and attention. Travel will become a little more difficult. There's certainly ways to get around it, whether that's hiring an employee or having a partner or spacing out your grows. There's a lot of different ways to be flexible and work around this, but this may be considered a con. The cycles are short, so there are repetitive tasks, and that can be challenging for some people. That can be a con. For some people, it's a pro. Some people love the repetitive tasks. I was someone like that. It really grounded me. It was really therapeutic for me. This was when I was busy working at the hospital. I had a baby and a toddler. And if you remember, if you've been through that stage of life, maybe you're in it now, it's unpredictable, right? Some days you never know if the baby's going to have a good night's sleep or they're going to be really needy. It's really unpredictable. Microgreens, not so much. They are predictable. You give them the same little bit of nurturing and they grow. For me, that was really therapeutic and grounding to have something separate from being a nurse, separate from being a mom, where I could do the same things, have that cycle, have those repetitive tasks. But for other people, they say, the idea of having to wash trays every week, that sounds terrible. Planting every single week, harvesting every single week, the same thing over and over and over. If you don't like the idea of that, this may not be a good fit for you. Either be ready to hire someone relatively quickly to take over those tasks, or be willing to say, this is part of the business. So just to know if that's a con for you, you want to think about that. There's also a learning curve at the beginning, just like anything. Then you're going to have to struggle through some failure. Microgreens are relatively easy to grow, but they do take, there's a learning curve. So know that that's going to be there. That may be a con. Too many hats. This can be a con for many people. You've got the setting up the business, all the business end, bookkeeping, you've got marketing, sales, growing, customer management, all of this. This can be a con for some people. It's part of why I started my program, to help you work through systematically so that you set yourself up for success with each of these components to your business. But it's a good thing to look at early on. There will be some no's in the beginning. That can be a con for some people. It's a huge reason why I've brought my mindset coaching into the program to help support people in the beginning stages of marketing and selling. If you have never owned a business before, this can be overwhelming and hard. And for many of us, it is hard to hear no and not have every customer, potential customer we approach want to buy our microgreens. That is normal. It is part of why I have the program to support you through that and to help show you that this does not mean you won't be successful. It is a normal part of the process. Not everyone will be your ideal customer. This is actually really good information when someone says no, to help you to improve your marketing and sales, or to find customers that are more aligned with your offer. Let's talk through my decision-making tool. So pros and cons lists are great, right? We listed out some things and it's important for you to do to look at. But a lot of times, if you're like me, you look at a pros list and a cons list and you still feel like, I don't really know what to decide. Uh, I have started using this decision making tool and I help others that I coach with do this. For you may know, I'm a certified mindset and business coach. And a lot of what I coach on is decision making, helping people get unstuck. And a lot of times, getting unstuck simply means making the decision. So here's a tool that's going to help guide you through. The first step to this decision making tool, you're just going to list your options. What are the possible things you could decide to do? Then you're going to list the reasons why you would make each decision and attempt to uncover the motivation. Sounds a little vague. Let's look at it. Let's look at an example. Uh, Use your workbook if you have it. This is in there to help guide you through this decision-making tool. So just write out the decision you want to make. In this instance, should I start a microgreens business? There's your decision. Option one, yes, you go for it. You are all in, you do all the things you need to do, you're in. One decision. Another decision is no. Done some research, listened to this class, turns out this is not a good fit for me. This is not something I want to do. I'm not going to do it. Number three option, maybe you kind of dabble with it. You know, you test the waters, you grow a little, but you're not all in. You don't start a business, not sure if you're going to sell. Those are kind of the three main options. Maybe you have more. If you have more, write them down. Now I want you to ask yourself, why would I make this decision for each option? For yes, for no, for kind of. Why would I make this decision? What's my reason for the option? Write them out. Please, I encourage you, don't try to do this all in your head. Write them out and look at them. Use that higher level part of your brain to look objectively. Here's the reason why I would do this. Here's the reason. You may uncover something you weren't expecting. Look at the reasons that you love. What are the reasons you love? Maybe you would decide to go all in because you have an intense desire to create an impact in the world, and this is a practical way you could do it, and you want to have that impact. Maybe you really want to be home with your family and spend time being present with them. You want to be around them. You want to be an example for them. Those are reasons why you would choose to do it. The reason you might not choose to do it is maybe you're scared you will waste a bunch of money and you won't be successful. You won't make money. So look at the reason why. Circle the reasons that the reasons for why you make the decision that you love. Then just look and see what option has the most circled reasons that you love. This is going to uncover and help you look at the motivation behind the decision. It's going to give you so much clarity for what you actually want to do. If you're still unsure, then ask yourself, what is holding me back? Why do I still feel like I don't know what to do here? Most common reasons, most common immobilizer is, what if I fail? What if I fail? That fear of failure can keep us so stuck when it just loops in our brain. So the question you might want to ask yourself is not, why do I feel scared, or what does this mean? But do you want to let your fear of failure be the driving force in your life? Ask yourself that question. Because I'm going to tell you, every single person who has decided to start a microgreens business has felt fear of failure. Everyone, 100%. So that is normal. Now it's just, are you going to let that be the motivation behind the decision that you make? Do you want it to be a driving force in your life? Or do you want to feel the failure and do it anyway, like Mallory did? Mallory, she is the owner of Barefoot Microgreens. You can go follow her over on Instagram. She experienced the same fear of failure. The fear did not go away. She decided to do it anyway because she was working this 9-to-5 job. She was away from her family. She had a strong passion to be home, homeschooling her boys, growing her homestead, and her work was just making it so hard to do that, being away from the home and the family every day to make money, to provide for the family. She was very scared that she wouldn't be successful with microgreens, that fear of failure was strong, and yet she pushed through. And now, just a year later, she was able to quit her job. She is full-time microgreens farming. Has an amazing homestead. She's doing all kinds of things, homeschooling her boys, and really has created that life that she was dreaming of. If you're tired of just spinning your wheels, maybe you are just feeling stuck, like you've been thinking about what can I do? I was like that. Literally for years. I would get to the hospital early, I would sit in my car, waiting till the last possible minute that I had to go in and clock in, and just dream and think, like, what else, like, what could I do? But I just spun my wheels. I was just stuck thinking, I want to live this life that's more aligned with this person I'm becoming as I'm getting more into a holistic approach to life. And I would just spin out. And maybe you can relate to that. The only thing that's going to get you out of that is you making a decision and taking action. Otherwise, nothing else is going to change. It's why I started Hand Grown Greens Academy. Is I had people come up to me asking me, how did you do this? Wanting support. And I was so close to it. I remember so well that feeling of being stuck and scared that I desperately want to help people through that. I've helped over 8,000 students now with my free and online programs figure out how to use microgreens to help them get closer to their life goal. I figured out that people need a plan to follow. That is one of the hardest things, making the decision. And then once you make the decision, what next? We live in a world where there's information overload. It is so overwhelming. A clear plan, a clear roadmap to follow is vital in making progress. Otherwise, you can get stalled out at so many points along the journey. And working with all of these growers starting their businesses has helped me to learn what people need. And it starts with that plan to follow. Make Money with Microgreens is my comprehensive online program that gives you that plan. So it prevents you from needing to spend hours on Google, YouTube. Some of you have already done that. I know because you've told me. You can spend hours, months, years of your life Googling things, watching YouTube videos of other people doing things. You can look at other people's businesses, try to reverse engineer and figure out what they did, try to piece it together, try to watch different videos. There's a lot of conflicting information, so you will quickly find that that's challenging. Or you can fast track your success. You can invest in a program that's going to organize it all, hand you a system to follow with the resources and tools that you need to be successful. Maybe you're still feeling scared. A lot of times the fear is around, will I be able to sell? I work with hundreds of growers, remember, so I know many people think I could learn to grow them, but I don't know that I would sell them. I don't know that I want to sell them. I'm not a salesperson. I'm an introvert. All of these excuses, your brain says why you can't do this. Your brain doesn't want you to do something that feels hard and scary. Like Abby. Abby was also like this. I'm scared to sell. Abby's another nurse like me. She's a labor and delivery nurse, also passionate about farming, homesteading, being present with her young kids. And she pushed through that fear, jumped into the program, learned how to effectively market and sell, and now she's selling microgreens in 7 different stores. She's selling them to the hospital that she works at. She's been able to cut back her hours so she can be available for her family, spending more time growing food. It's just so amazing. Go follow Abby Mended Kettle, another amazing grower in our community. Make Money with Microgreens. It has everything you need to start and grow a profitable home-based business that will help you reach your goals. And this is really what sets this program apart is I want to help you not just make money, I want to help you accomplish your goal in creating the life that you want. I recognize the juggling act of family and other obligations and other passions and things, work, and now microgreens on top of that. How do you figure all this out so that you can create and reach the goal? Yes, the money goal, but also the lifestyle goal so that you can have that freedom. You can have that flexibility in your day to day so that you can prioritize the people that are really important to you, the things that are really important to you. That's what this program is all about. Like Paula says, Laura's program provides holistic approach. It supported me beautifully through my microgreens journey. Paula is another example of a grower in our community. She runs GrowWise Microgreens. She's one of our Australian growers. Go check her out on Instagram. She has built a beautiful business. And we've had a lot of conversations since she joined about how supported she feels and empowered she feels to create a business that reflects her values. Paula is really passionate about sustainability and eco-friendly. You can see her microgreens there. She sells all living microgreens, so gets completely away from packaging and sells these living microgreens. She's been super successful. She was a firefighter who wanted to be home with her kids. She wanted to be present. She wanted to grow food and be part of contributing to a more sustainable lifestyle. Make Money with Microgreens has 4 core components that we cover in detail. One is how to start your business. This can be an overwhelming part. How to grow, how to sell, and then how to scale or sustain your business. Starting with how to set up your business. This is something that people get stalled out so often. If you've never had a business before, it can feel really overwhelming. You don't need to let that confusion about what are the rules, what are the regulations, what's the licensure I need, what do I do for insurance, all that confusion, you can get help with that. I can help walk you through that. That's the first section of the course. We get it out of the way so that you have a really strong foundation and you can focus fully on growing and selling. I'll teach you how to grow amazing microgreens consistently. It is very important that you know how to consistently grow if you're going to sell. I give you my time-tested process so you can follow it exactly to grow high-yielding, beautiful microgreens every single week. We'll also teach you how to sell with confidence and ease. It doesn't have to feel icky. It doesn't have to feel scary. Marketing and selling is just a skill that you can learn, just like growing. You can learn it. I can teach you how to be effective. And so many of my growers in the program now say they actually love it. So I know you may feel skeptical, but just believe it is possible for you to learn that skill. And finally, this program provides you with ongoing support and a network to keep your business thriving. So whether you want to scale it larger or you want to sustain the business you've built, this program is going to help give you ongoing support. Like Liz says, this program helped give me the clarity I needed to create the business I wanted. Liz is someone who was in research mode, stuck researching. The program is what got her taking action and creating an amazing microgreens business of her own. She has a very unique setup. She shared with it just a few weeks ago in the program, showing others how she grows with a hydroponic setup in her house. We do monthly live Q&As, so we will all come together on Zoom. You can have your camera on or not if you don't want to. Most people do, so we can chat. We can talk about growing issues, marketing, selling, business struggles, life and balance issues. This is, again, what kind of makes this program unique is it's an amazing community of good-hearted people. And I want to give you that support as you're learning to juggle how do I start a business, manage work or other obligations, my family, my kids, all of that. How does it all fit together? You might be wondering, well, does this support just expire after a few months? Because I don't know if I have time to get started right away. No. You are in for life when you enroll in this program. And I made it this way intentionally because I know how life is. I know when life throws you curveballs that you were not expecting, and maybe you got to put things on pause or grow slower than you initially thought. That's okay. I get it. That was my experience and is my experience now, and so many of the growers in the program. It's why I give you lifetime access. You can learn and you can implement at your own pace. For some people, they hit the ground running. They burn through the content quickly, binge watch everything, start growing, and they are making money in the first month. For others, they are slow and methodical, and that is a great way to go too. And over the months, they build a business that works so great, is integrated into their life so seamlessly, is making them money and bringing them so much peace and joy. So, in addition to these core components, how to start your business, how to grow, how to sell, how to scale, there's a lot of other bonus information that you get when you enroll in the program. You're going to get the live Q&A library. So not just the calls since you sign up, you'll get to listen to past calls. And this is absolute gold. You will find so many questions that you didn't even know you had yet. When you listen to people who are a few steps ahead of you, it's why I love group coaching, group programs. You can learn so much from other people. When you hear their questions, it will save you so much time and energy and money and struggle to hear those things ahead of time. And you can just listen to these whenever you want. You get access to them only by being in this program. You get access to these calls. So when you're out for a walk or folding laundry or washing trays or doing whatever mindless task, you can be listening and learning from your fellow growers. You'll also get access to the exclusive Grow Guide video library. This has been a work in progress. Growers in our community have contributed videos for specific varieties, microgreens varieties that they have mastered, and they are totally transparent and share their whole process. So you can learn as you're wanting to add more varieties as you scale your business. I'm also going to give you access to the Know Your Numbers workshop training. This is really valuable as you get farther along in your business. In the beginning, it can be hard to know, how do I price my microgreens? It's why I give you pricing structure to follow in the program. After you start growing and selling for a while within your first year of growing, go through this workshop. It's going to be really valuable and helpful for you to really lean into that CEO, CFO position in your business, to have a good handle on, here are my expenses. Here is how much money I'm making. Here's my profit margins. This is how I'm going to adjust the pricing. Really step into that business owner role. For some of you, that's going to be way too much in the beginning. Just know it's there. Know after you've been growing and selling for a few months, you can carve out some time to go through that. There is no rush on this. You can go through this at a pace that works for you. I just want to highlight some of the things that you will get access to. The marketing bundle may be something that you use right away. This will save you a lot of time. I give you templates. You can just basically plug your logo in and have ready to go marketing materials. So that you are not spinning out on creating labels and all of that. That can take a lot of time. I get to give you access to a masterclass, how to land your first microgreens customer. So if you were really hung up on, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get customers, watch this training. I'm going to walk you through how to identify who your ideal customer is, how to set up a marketing plan, formulate a sales model, and how to keep those customers. We're going to talk about customer retention. When you're in the program, Make Money with Microgreens, you're going to get access to exclusive guest grower classes, things like crop planning with Chris Thoreau, a hydroponic class with Urban Greens, how to grow edible flowers with Legacy Farm. That's a really exciting area that fits really well with microgreens as well. A nutrition class from one of our nutrition experts in the program, Nicole. Definitely watch that early on so that you have a good handle on how to educate your customers about how nutritious microgreens are, why they're a functional food. That class is going to give you so much valuable information that you can then go on to teach people in your community. And bookkeeping, right? That's everybody's favorite. Not everybody's, right? But how helpful to have a bookkeeping class from a microgreens farmer, all about keeping books for a small business owner. All this stuff, I tried to total it all up. My assistants asked, how much do you think all this is valued at? I added everything up. It came to about $8,000. It's probably more than that. Today, you can enroll in Make Money with Microgreens for just $697. I want you to do this. I want it to be affordable because I want you to take action. I want to make it so easy for you to make this decision to take this next step. This class today was all about deciding, would microgreens farming be a good fit for me? Is this something that I could see working in my life? Once you make that decision, don't stop there. Take action. There's a payment plan. If that works better for you, you can pay in full Get a little discount doing that. Or if it's easier for you, do the payment plan. $147 for 6 months uh, will give you instant access as soon as you enroll, so you don't have to wait. This isn't dripped out to you. You get access to everything right away when you enroll. And I do that because I have some people coming in who already have microgreens farms, and maybe they're coming in because they want community. They want support of other growers, or they want some help with marketing or sales or one aspect of the program. It will be well worth it. So you can jump around to what you want. If you are brand new to the program, start at the beginning. Just work through the framework of the course. It's all been laid out very intentionally and will help you to build a solid business. Like Kim says, this program provided foolproof details that have fast-tracked my success. Kim is an amazing member of the community. She just did a class on selling at farmers markets. She is a rock star at her farmers market. She sells at multiple and does really well with our microgreens, and it's great support in the Facebook group as well. But Laura, do I really need to pay for an online course? I do this a lot. I get it. You might be asking the wrong question if you're asking yourself that. Do I really need to pay for a class? There's so much information out there, right? There is. But maybe the question you should be asking is, will I see a return on this investment? I encourage you, if you're asking yourself that, to tweak the question, not just with this program, but with other things as you're starting your business. To not ask yourself, do I need to spend money on this? But ask yourself, will I see a return? Start thinking like a business owner. Will I see a return on this investment? Remember, in this program, I'm going to show you how to make $500 a week growing microgreens from home. So that means less than 2 weeks, you can cover the cost of this program. That one rack, if you're growing 20 trays a week, that one rack, that, remember that picture I showed you, that setup, $26,000 a year. But maybe you want to be small. Maybe you don't want to grow a whole bunch of racks, and maybe your life is really busy. So do you really need a program? Like, do you need to pay money for a course if you're going to be super small? Come back to that. Will I see a return on the investment if I'm small? If you're just going to grow 4 trays a week, that's one of those shelves on the rack, that will net you over $5,000 a year. Pretty exciting, right? Even if you got into this and you decide, I don't want to sell them, I'm just not into the selling. Or maybe you sell them for a few years and life gets busy and you don't want to sell anymore. Even this education, this knowledge of how to grow microgreens is going to save you so much money. Even if you just grow for your family, even if you don't run a business and sell microgreens, on average, you are going to save over $1,000 a year by just growing microgreens for yourself, which is also pretty incredible. Jill says this was worth every minute and every dime you will spend. Real life information that applies no matter where you live. I love the ongoing support and new additions to the program. Jill from Black Barn Botanica is a flower farmer and also a microgreens farmer and a wonderful member of the community. She has several grow guides in the Grow Guide video library. So if you're in the program, you can see her whole setup and her process and how she grows microgreens and flowers together. Missy is another wonderful member of our community, also passionate about farming and homesteading. And she says there's no doubt you are learning from someone who genuinely wants and believes in your individual success. And that is so true. I'm so glad Missy feels that from me and from the whole community. Having a group of people who believe in you through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship is very valuable. So remember, that single rack can earn you $500 a week, $26,000 a year. Would that make a difference? Would that be helpful to you? Think about that. Maybe you want to scale up more than a rack. Maybe one rack is small potatoes and you want to scale up a bunch of racks like Garrett did. Garrett had a dream of being able to quit his job and support his family through growing. And he accomplished that after enrolling in the program Make Money with Microgreens. He had a new baby being born when he signed up, and his goal was to get home so he could be home. And he has accomplished that. This program allowed me to quit my day job, he says, and now has me growing full time with ongoing support. Has been incredible. Garrett over at Ghost Grows, you can check him out as well and see all that he is up to, another great member of our community. So just to review, we talked about a lot today. I want to review what we've covered. We started with why are you interested in doing this? What is drawing you to microgreens? Why? Why do you want to do this? Uncover and ask yourself, why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? Uncover that why. Figure out if this would be a good fit for you. Make that decision. Look at your pros and cons. Use that decision-making tool. Write out the reason why you would make the decision that you want to make. Why would you make the decision to do it, to start the business? Why would you make the decision not to start the business? Which reason do you love? Make the decision where you love the reason for it. You love the motivation behind making that decision. That is what you truly want to do. Don't let the fear hold you back. Don't let the fear be the guiding light in your life, the guiding force. Once you make that decision, get some support. Join this program. This program is going to give you everything you need. If this program is not the right fit, find something that will help support you on this journey so you don't stall out. Why do you want to do this? It always comes back to the why. Are you going to keep putting that why on the back burner, or are you going to take steps to make it a reality? You see my 3 sweet kiddos here. I wanted so desperately to be home. When I had to go back to the hospital right after having my first 2 babies, it was heartbreaking and devastating to me. And I spent years feeling like there was no other option for me. There is another option, but it's only going to happen if you make a decision and you take action to make it happen. Hold on to that deeper why, whether it's freedom that you're craving, it's the security that you need, it's a lifestyle you aspire to get to, it's flexibility that you want in your day-to-day, the ability to prioritize the people you love. Maybe it's following that passion. You want to wake up every morning and feel excited about what you're doing, feel like you are doing something good. You want to contribute to the world, to your community. Microgreens is a very practical, tangible way that you can do that. What would it mean to you to be able to make money from home, doing something you love and something you believe in? What would that mean to you? What would that be worth to you? There's a lot of ways to make money. What would it mean to make money from home, doing something you love? It's really fun to grow microgreens and something that feels so rewarding. This is your time. I'm going to do something else to help you who are still on the fence to make it even easier to make this decision. I'm going to offer you an exclusive discount for attending and for sticking with me through this whole class. I'm going to give you $100 off the price of the program. This is only going to be valid for 3 days, so take action. I am pushing you to take action because with action comes clarity and comes change. So use this coupon code and save $100. Get into this program. Remember, you have lifetime access. So even if it's something that you don't have the time and bandwidth to start now, if you've looked at the reason behind the decision, you know this is something you want to do, sign up now. Start taking the baby steps that you can take to start growing your business. You'll be amazed how those steps grow over time. The discount code is back to school 100. All one word, no spaces. I will send it out in an email to you, but remember it expires in 3 days, back to school 100. Use that discount, save on this already great price program. You're going to get so much value from this. If you have questions, reach out. I cannot wait to see you in this program, to get to know you, to find out why you're wanting to do this, what your goals are, to help support you. I want to see you on those calls and help you on this journey, help you to create this life that you have been longing for, that you've been dreaming about. It really is possible. But you got to take a step. You got to take action. This is going to help you do it. I can hold your hand along the way. I have been there and I will help you. And there are so many others who will come alongside you too. So get in the program. Can't wait to get to know you. If you are eager to jump on right now, here's the URL that will take you to the where you can actually enroll. If you are not in a place where you can write this down, check your email. I'll send you a link. You can click on it. You can get even more information about what's involved in the program. You can read other students' experiences, listen to other people talk about the program if you're still on the fence. Ask me any questions. I cannot wait to help you start your profitable home-based microgreens farm.